Well, the Hornets look to bounce back after a loss Saturday night against the Brooklyn Nets. Having the Warriors in town tonight, not an easy task. Got my boy Rod Boone from The Athletic joining me tonight to talk a little bit of basketball. Thank you, because you were trying to rush out the building. You didn't want to give me a few minutes, but don't worry, guys. I forced them to stop and talk to me. The Hornets fall tonight, 121 to 110. Let's talk about the positive instead of just going to the negative that they lost. Cody Zeller, a career high, 28 points, 9 boards, gave this Hornets team a chance to stay in this game.
He did. He played well inside. You know, Cody, as we know, is a very good player. Sometimes he gets lost out there in terms of not being able to score the ball the way he needs to. But interior, he's one of their best players. You know, when he's playing out there with Kemba Walker, the synergy with the pick and roll is really good. So tonight, Cody's able to get to the basket. You know, had about 3 or 4 dunks, just caused havoc inside. So for him tonight, he had a career high, 28 points, I believe it was. So for him to come out here and play the way he played tonight was excellent. So they need more of that for him to continue to do what they should be doing in terms of playing like they should be playing a playoff team per se.
And Coach Borrego said that he wanted this team to get off on a better start, and they were able to do that in the first quarter. They were only down 34 to 30.
They were. The last 2 games out of break, they got into very, very slow starts. And before you know it, they were almost out of the game. They came back and were able to catch, you know, the Wizards. They came back and caught Brooklyn too, but at the end of the day, they couldn't beat the Nets because they lost on a D'Angelo Russell 3-pointer. But you're right, to come out here tonight, play better against a team that scores a lot of points was a good thing for them. Got to do that a little bit more going forward here.
So 3-point shooting, actually bringing that up, not the best 3-point shooting tonight. The Hornets held Steph Curry to only 4 of 14 from the 3-point line. I don't know if that's more so defense or is that just a bad shooting night from Steph Curry, but they also had 3 quarters where they put up about 30 points.
I think it was a bad shooting night from Steph. He had a lot of wide open shots he normally makes, didn't make them tonight. He even mentioned after his post-game interview session that he talked about how the last 2 times he's been here, going back to even the All-Star break last weekend, he hasn't shot the ball well here, you know, in the games. He shot well in 3-point contests. He lost to Joe Harris of the Nets, but in the game himself, he didn't shoot very well. Tonight, same thing. He didn't shoot very well, so he's a little bit bummed out about that. But at the end of the day, he really wanted to come here and get this W. This is his hometown. His dad obviously covers, you know, the Hornets, calls the games for the Fox Sports South East. So for him to come in here tonight and not shoot the ball well and still get a win, that's all he cares about, really.
Well, DeMarcus Cousins had an interesting night tonight. Jeremy Lamb lost his shoe about right there at the free throw line, and then he just took it and chucked it and went right in the hands of former Panthers linebacker Thomas Davis. Is that a technical in your eyes? Because I feel like he's trying to protect the team, trying to make sure no one steps on the shoe. Got to get it out the way.
It's one of those weird things where it could be a technical foul. I know why the referees call that, but in the same regard, like, you know, he did try to get it off the court. But he threw it too hard and too far. You just placed it a little bit on the side, like rolled it like a ball.
To his extent, he is about like 6'10", full of a lot of weight and strength.
Right here, the free throw line where we're at. We're sitting over here right now where Thomas Davis was. That's a pretty far throw, and he threw it pretty hard and fast too. So it was a funny play, man. One of those plays they look back on it and kind of chuckle on it. But at the end of the day, DeMarcus Cousins actually had a really good game. He has probably his best game in the Warrior uniform so far.
A tough stretch, home stretch for the Hornets continues on Wednesday night as the Beard, James Harden, and the Rockets come to town. What do this Hornet squad need to do in order to walk out of the Hive with a W?
Got to play better defense, man. You know, the defense tonight was hot and cold. They had good spells, they had bad spells, but to me, the Warriors got a little bit too easy shots. You know, they were able to get to the basket a little bit, you know, too easily. They had wide open jumpers, so I think the Rockets coming here with the Beard and Chris Paul and those guys, you know, you got to make sure you stick with defensive game plan and don't leave your man, because if you do, rotations are a problem right now for the Hornets in terms of finding the right guy out of the rotations and switches and pick and rolls and whatnot. So against the Rockets, if you do that, man, you're going to get burned badly. So that's going to be a big game for them because, you know, you lost 2 games in a row now. You play the Rockets on Wednesday. If you lose that game, that's 3 in a row. You go play Brooklyn in Brooklyn on Friday. And you come back here and play the Portland Trailblazers in a matinee game on Sunday. So these are really 3 tough games they have coming up here, the next few games here.
And I know you got to get out of here, but let me ask you this. Speaking of the rotation, how do you like Miles Bridges in the starting lineup and Jeremy Lamb on the bench? It seems like it's been working for the Hornets so far.
It has. I mean, other than against Brooklyn when Jeremy Lamb didn't come out and score the ball the way he wanted to, it's worked so far. And Miles had foul trouble against the Nets on Saturday night. Tonight, he found shot a little bit more. You can tell he's still trying to find how his offense will come with the starters out there. With the reserves, you kind of can float a little bit more out there and find your baskets. But with start lineup, he's not getting plays running for him out there. So I like the move, though. I feel like he's the future of this franchise. Jeremy Lamb is a scorer, and to put him off the bench makes the bench just a little bit better because you have a 6-man off the bench who can score right away. First half of the year was MKG off the bench first. MKG is a great defensive player, not really a big high-volume scorer. Jeremy Lamb, other way, he's not really a defensive player, but he's a high-volume scorer. So to have him come out there and score the ball off the bench is a good thing for this team. We'll see if it works out.
All right, we'll see on Wednesday when the Beer, James Harden, and the Rockets come to town right here at the Hive on Wednesday. We'll see you next time.